Doug Melnick is going to be up first tonight. He is the Chief Sustainability Officer of San Antonio, and if you didn't know there was one, he is the first. He leads the sustainability efforts, policies in the area of sustainable transportation, municipal sustainability, energy management, current focus on the development of the SA Tomorrow Sustainability Plan. That serves as a data-driven and measurable plan for social, environmental, and economic sustainability with a focus on resilience. There will be a test on this afterward. He also coordinates the City of San Antonio's air quality efforts, provides key support and oversight to San Antonio B-Cycle. Please give it up for the one and only Doug Melnick.
Well, thank you very much. I'm really excited, not really, but I'm excited to be here. On behalf of all the speakers, the first thing that I would like to thank the organizers for allowing us to spend our Thanksgiving focused on developing 20 slides in 20 seconds. It really adds value to the holidays, so thank you very much. I'm sure you've all been watching the news lately. One of the big topics that's going on right now that you're probably aware is the international climate conversations and talks are taking place in Paris. So we have upwards of 195 leaders from across the world trying to hammer out climate agreements to ensure that carbon reductions occur and limit climate change to 2 degrees Celsius. And the reason why they're trying to get it to 2 degrees Celsius is, and quoting from the scientist, anything above 2 degrees Celsius is a gateway to dangerous global warming. So I have a really light topic I'm going to go through right now. And, I've realized that, I've gone through my own personal climate change. I've been in San Antonio for a year and a half now. And just to be clear, I'm from New York. That does not mean New York City or Manhattan or Brooklyn. It's upstate New York. Albany's that little yellow below the E in upstate New York. And people ask, well, why come to San Antonio? And it's a good question. The answer is this is a mild winter in Albany. And if I had to shovel out my car one more time only to have somebody take my space, I was going to go ballistic. My last winter there, it was 40 degrees below zero with wind chill. So it's not some place that my family chose to be. This is what you really look like at the end of the day. The thing that's most disturbing about this is you look like this year-round. It is a gray, dark, miserable place, and we were really looking forward to coming someplace where people were a little more cheerful. And so San Antonio really fit the bill. We do miss some things. I'm sorry I've not found a good slice of pizza or Chinese food or Indian food. Feel free to send me suggestions, but I'm not particularly optimistic that anything's going to pan out. But sure, send it along. But I was looking to come to San Antonio because there's really great things going on in the sustainability arena. When I first got here, I was driving down South Flores, and wow, what a great road diet. We had 2 lanes, bike lanes, and my first meeting, the first day that I started work, was here on the South Flores project. And unfortunately, there was a lot of robust discussion around bike lanes, but, I think there's still work that we can do. But, we were still optimistic. We were going to have, we were excited to live somewhere where there was going to be rail and a streetcar. And, unfortunately, that fell through. I think, we'll get there as we start developing and implementing our sustainability plan and transportation plan. But there's other things that we really, like about San Antonio. We love the approach to childcare. Here's my wife and daughter at the Friendly Spot. I've never experienced anything like this anywhere, and we really love the community in San Antonio. The other thing that I really love about San Antonio is the river. This was taken my first week in San Antonio, my walking to work, and you can't beat it. It's the work that's been done around restoring the river and revitalizing the city has been incredible. We walk the dog, we walk around there, and I also started running, trying to get in shape. It's nice out. This is me trying to do a half marathon. I think the key point in this picture is if you look, I'm about to die, and it's hot, and I think I've gotten accustomed to the heat. I'm not too concerned about it. I think one of the things that does concern me about the future here is that it's getting hotter. This is information from the weather data from the San Antonio airport, and between 1960 and 2010, there's been a 2.5 degrees Celsius increase. According to climate models, this is going to continue. It's going to continue to get warmer, and it's going to have implications. This is nothing new. The suave person on the left is Svante Arrhenius. In 1896, he was the first person to identify the greenhouse effect. Since that time, out of 14,000 peer-reviewed climate articles, only 24 have rejected global warming. There is consensus around this. 90% of scientists concur that it's happening. What does this mean for us? This is a picture from a few years ago near the San Antonio airport. Things like this used to be 100-year events. These are happening multiple times a year. Our infrastructure wasn't designed for this sort of inundation, and it has real health and safety impacts. What happens when things flood? We get overflows. This is the river. It's not pleasant to look at. It's not pleasant to walk by. I think what's most concerning is we can see more and more overflows in our neighborhoods, and we don't necessarily want to see human floatables on a daily basis. And so, this really has implications for, what we want with our future. Anybody know what this is? This is extreme heat, and 9 of the 10 hottest years have occurred since 2000, and it's going to get hotter. And how are we going to deal with that? Now, it's not all doom and gloom. I think there's things that we can do now. This is our friend Slim Pickens from Dr. Strangelove. I want you to walk away knowing that, yes, this is something that we can tackle. It just takes incremental steps that we can all take to start improving things. One of the things I'd ask you to look at is how do we start building resilience into our current communities? This is a past city forester planting trees. We know trees help moderate temperature. They help improve air quality. Grow some of your own food. Build local food security. While you're at it, try to compost as much organic waste we can get out of the waste stream. It's less methane going into the landfill. This is, me. We got to get out of our cars, ride a bike, walk around, take mass transit. If you don't feel the infrastructure is there to do it, start advocating for it, and start talking about it. We need to start reducing our carbon emissions. Another option. Just look at the efficiency in our homes and businesses. Replace lights, simple. Turn out the lights if you don't need them. Get solar on your roof. Just again, the less power that we pull from the grid really translates into less emissions going into the atmosphere. Thank you. And then really the most important thing is just, speak up and talk and vote. Unless we start really raising this as an issue, we're not going to really start making the changes that we need. We need more people advocating for this. And why is this important to me? It really is about the future. And this is my son and daughter. I took this last week at Thanksgiving. I haven't seen my son for 2 years. He's in the Air Force, and I look at them and I think about what's the future that we want for them. And unless we start taking action now and making those individual choices and changes, who knows what that future is going to be for them. Thank you.
Testing. Part of the deal here is that between these, you might have some questions. So I'm just going to ask you some embarrassing personal questions that you might not have answered during this. Now, first of all, that responsible parenting slide, I love that. Mm-hmm. We have CPS here. Now, on a day-to-day basis, what do you get to push for within the city, and how tough is it to you know, because it's a political thing you're talking about, and some people aren't going to be hooting for what you just advocated for as much.
I mean, I think it's about priorities, and I think it's about education and explaining things. I think the big opportunity that we have as a community right now is with the SA Tomorrow planning process. You know, this is a plan for, you know, looking through 2040 that's looking at transportation, land use, design, and sustainability. And, you know, this is the time for the community to weigh in and basically outline what that future looks like. I think the other real important thing is there's lots of little things that we can do that are going to have an impact. And I just saw this great cartoon today that I almost wanted to include. It was a bunch of people at the climate conference saying, you know, if climate change doesn't happen, why do we want to have, you know, why do we want to improve the environment? You know, there's other benefits to doing this than just trying to move that CO2 number down.
And just forget maybe the mayor here or other reporters, but if you, what kind of maybe, I mean, is it tough within the city and a structure to get something done? And I don't know what the organizational flowchart is, but who do you advocate to and report to and push?
Well, one of the things that's it's part of this planning process that we're working on is there's a municipal component where we're looking at municipal operations. What are our goals? What are our targets? And how do we get there? And I think the thing that's been so impressive, we've worked with city leadership, all the heads of departments, and gone through exercises with them, and they want to lead, and they want to make a difference and be on the forefront of this. I think it's my office working with them to enable them to start making those decisions.
And in 10 seconds or less, when are we going to get a streetcar, light rail in San Antonio? No pressure. You know, we did. Now,
I would defer to some folks at Transportation and Capital Improvements who are focusing on that element of the plan.
You're a city bureaucrat, aren't you there, Melnick? B-cycle also, and that's been something you pushed for because it was kind of in limbo there for a while?
Yep, and I'm really happy to report that we have a new director. She's here, but she'll probably be sneaking out. J.D. Simpson, who came to us from Austin, B-cycle, is doing an amazing job. And so, you know, I can strongly and confidently say that, you know, B-cycle is here to stay, and its, you know, best years are ahead of it.
Thank you very much, Doug Melnick on the main stage.